Previously, on the voice of Free Planet X.
She's coming for you, Jared. She's coming for you.
Who?
Mercury. Dr. Mercury got extremely curious about you after your appearance in my studio. You and your wife. And believe me, the last thing you want is to be on the receiving end of Dr. Mercury's curiosity. No one survives that.
Why are you warning me? That seems out of character for a supervillain.
My dear doomed boy, I'm not warning you. I'm relishing your inevitable demise. This foreknowledge will not save you. You cannot stop Dr. Mercury. Even the pan-reality deitor fears her. Some of his priests contacted me. Would you believe it? They asked me if I knew how to defeat her, should she turn an evil eye their way. The fools! I can contain a supernova inside a nutshell, but when it comes to Mercury, I can't do diddly squat. She is poison, and fire, and death. She's coming for you, and there's nothing you can do.
Well, that was ominous. I'm sure I've got some time before she... Who turned out the lights?
I do so prefer the darkness. Hello, Mr. Axelrod. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Dr. Mercury. I've got a golden cage just your size.
Testing. I think this is recording. This is Jared Axelrod, and you're listening to the voice of Free Planet X. I guess if this works, I don't know. I've been kidnapped by something that calls herself Dr. Mercury. At first, I thought she was just a supervillain, one of Professor Brainfever's cronies, but she seems to be so much more than that. Much more. I'm inside some sort of volcano? Did H.R. Geiger ever design the inside of a volcano? It looks like that. She put me in this weird golden cage, and the bottom is just disgusting. It's all soft and squishy and smells like copper, and I don't want to think about it. I tried to dig in it to see if I could get under the cage, but looks like this goes deep into the rock. No getting out that way. But in a stroke of luck, this micro cassette recorder was there, buried in stuff, so I can still record. It even had a tape in it. So here I am recording on actual tape for the first time.
Audio Journal of Dr. Ava Routledge concerning Dr. Mercury, her origins, her abilities, and how to defeat her, should it come to that. I am joined in this research by Dr. Tristan McGurk.
Hello. Ava, do you need this here? Is it okay if I move it?
Just put it anywhere. Dr. McGurk shares my enthusiasm for the unusual threat Dr. Mercury presents. He introduced me to Bloody Sun by Maggie Carson, which, while a work of journalism and by its very nature tainted by the biases of human perception, nonetheless provides an excellent starting point for our research. But where Carson leaned on conjecture and superstition, we will be supported by nothing less than science and fact. We will... McGurk!
It's okay. I'm made of rubber. Don't worry about me.
Sharing an office will take some getting used to.
Hey, why did you choose an office that's part of a morgue?
Do you want to chip in more rent?
Touché.
I am certain this area of research will be of great use to future researchers and anyone who happens to find themselves in Dr. Mercury's clutches.
You know, I didn't check the tape before I started recording. I wonder if I should? Maybe something useful? Wait. Someone's coming. It's her. I can't let her know about the recorder.
To whom are you talking to, my little caged confection? Don't tell me sanity has left you so soon. I expected you to be made of sterner stuff. I've not even gotten out my toys.
Just, talking to myself? Radio man's habit, you know.
I knew a radio man once. Could turn his body into living sound, travel across radio waves, wore a ridiculous mask with headphones attached to it for some unearthly reason that made sense to him alone. I was fascinated by him. To be able to turn living matter into sound waves and then back again? Glorious. I kept him down here for weeks, in a cage much like the one you're in now, in order to figure him out, to understand how he did what he did. In the end, it took so little to debilitate his ability to maintain his physical body. I watched as he unraveled, pieces of him dissipating into a low, staticky moan. Have you ever seen someone try to talk? Try to scream, as parts of their face just evaporated away, clawing at vocal cords that won't work, with fingers that are no longer there? Don't answer. I know you haven't. I'm being rhetorical. Such poetry was never meant for eyes such as yours. You call yourself a radio man, do you? Can you turn your body into waves? Shall I try?
No. It's just a joke, you see. Just a joke. That's all.
You're afraid of me. There's no shame in it. It's the last instinct you have. Your genetic impulses to walk and talk did their job, and now you're left with the blind panic that occurs when you look into the face of death. I don't even need to threaten you. Our relationship was hardwired into you from birth, a genetic message screaming at you to run away as fast as you can. That's why I love the cage. There's nowhere for you to run.
Of course, the lack of hard data concerning Dr. Mercury is what makes this all the more difficult. But what we have been able to accumulate points into some very intriguing directions. What is clear is Dr. Mercury is not of this earth. Otherworldly, certainly. Other-dimensionally,
McGurk, don't get coffee on my tape recorder.
It's fine. I managed to block the wave of scalding hot coffee with my chest. Your concern is touching.
You're made of rubber. I'll get you a towel.
Thanks. Now, where was I? Ava can just rattle this off. Right. Yes. The otherworldly nature of Dr. Mercury. The skin cells that Ava acquired from superhuman tactical action response are like nothing we have ever seen before. Sequencing the DNA could take decades, if not centuries. We have no frame of reference. To compare it to human cells is like comparing the sun to a circle drawn in the dirt. We need more information. We need more material. I have suggested a trip to Dr. Mercury's Volcano Island since we began, but Ava's been dead set against it, saying it's too dangerous. But we've already checked and rechecked our meager amount of data, and we've gone as far as we can. If we want to move forward, we're going to have to go to the source. Supplemental note. Every file folder we put our Dr. Mercury notes into turns black. At first, we thought it was some sort of mold or mildew, but it's just darkness. Like the paper is corrupted by the very idea of her. It's one more mystery to add to the growing pile.
Why did you capture me?
I like your show.
I, doubt your sincerity on that.
I can honestly barely listen to your needy claptrap. I bet if you ever met the Deator, you'd want to hold his hand and sing Kumbaya.
That's not who I am.
Isn't it? I've met your type before. You see people as match flames, bright and hot. You believe that each flame comes together. They make a greater fire. And if the whole human race could just come together, they could make an inferno that would warm the galaxy. That's how you think. And you're wrong. You are so wrong. You're not the flame at all. You're the match. You're kindling. You're fuel.
Then what's the flame?
What indeed? What glorious creature could possibly look at your pitiful, self-mythologizing human race and see nothing but a buffet table? I'll give you a hint, my little morsel. She's one of two of us. Spoiler alert, not the one in the cage. The day will come when I have drunk my fill of this world, and it will be a barren husk.
We have arrived on Dr. Mercury's island. McGurk is setting up the equipment, but honestly, I have reservations. The safety of this mission is relatively secure. Dr. Mercury is currently causing a volcano to erupt in Midtown Chicago. I'm not worried about her. It's just this place. I thought it was nothing but barren rock, but it's not. It's a ruined city. Unspeakably ancient, covered in carvings. It's a language I can't read. It looks like nothing I've ever seen before. Sharp and violent. A language made up of screams and moans. The structures here are impossible. The scale. No wonder we thought it was mountains. We've only done a small perimeter, but already I'm seeing evidence to support the Mercury hypothesis. Dr. Mercury is not native to this planet, and yet this planet was ready for her. Was made ready? Or was it always this way, waiting for her to arrive? Dr. Mercury's recorded appearances are contained in the last century, but these structures look to be hundreds of thousands of years old. Were they always here? Were they always here? Has she always been here?
So you're a monster.
You remind me so much of another Xenozauro I'm acquainted with. He never hits the mark either. I am a hurricane, Mr. Axelrod. I am an earthquake. I am a tsunami. Do you understand? I am what monsters gaze upon and envy, what they strive to achieve. I am monstrous, but I am not a monster. That word is far too small for me. It does not begin to describe what I am.
Then what are you?
The sundown. When everything you know and love is snuffed out into darkness. Know that it will be me. It will always be me.
Did you see that?
See what?
McGurk, stop what you're doing and run. Run!
Every culture's creation myth is different. But have you ever noticed how similar the predictions of the end of the world are? A pale figure in black, all teeth and steel, strides among the ruins of the planet to drain it dry. Honestly, I'm flattered they were all paying such close attention. They even got my favorite color right.
Ava has been distant ever since we got back. She almost wouldn't give me the tape recorder. She's just bitter she can't escape the conclusion. She refers to it as the Mercury hypothesis, but it's more than that. It's truth. It's scripture. Wherever Dr. Mercury came from, her role on this world is clear. Maggie Carson referred to her as a Starchild in her book, But a better analogy might be a seed. Mercury comes to Earth, or an Earth-like planet, as this seed and grows, taking nutrients and fuel from the Earth until the Earth is spent. And then she goes somewhere else, having consumed the planet. This is not a freak occurrence. This is a biosystem, the proof positive of an uncaring universe, or, at the very least, an universe that doesn't care for humanity. There is a grand cosmic plan. The Star Children are proof of that. But it's a plan that has no interest in denizens of this planet. We are collateral damage of something greater. No, it's worse than that. We're not even noted. Our lives are meaningless because at some point Dr. Mercury will end them. Not because of anything we did, or even her whims, because of a biological imperative that would have continued whether we were here or not. Nothing means anything.
Tell me about J.R. Blackwell.
My wife? What's she got to do with this?
Only everything. Don't flatter yourself. This abduction was never about you. You're a trifle. A sugar-coated treat in a ridiculous tie. Your bait. I have little interest in you.
So there is some interest. You said little, so there must be something, right?
Careful, Candy. Overly clever is never a good look. Bait need not be live to cling to a hook.
Then why haven't you killed me?
Would you like me to kill you? I still have the formula that destroyed the previous Radio Man. I could see if it's aged well. Watch all that you are dissolve to some sound no one will hear.
But you won't.
Won't I? Won't I?
No, see, it's like economics, right? Economics. Okay, economists. They're not like real people. I mean, they are, but there's this idea, and it doesn't make a lot of sense until you really think about it. But economists say that if you really want something, you'd already have it. Like there's something in a store, and you really want it, you'd purchase it. You'd not buy something else because that thing that you want, well, you want it. If you don't get it, then you must really not want it. Now, of course, you think, well, maybe not you, but someone would say that there's a lot of things I want that I don't have because it's too expensive or limited edition or whatever. But the reality is we don't actually want a lot of the bullshit that we chase after. Most of our wants are small and accessible.